What happens to culture when even its language is taken away? What happens to people when the words they speak no longer belong to them? In Sujata Bhatt's poem A Different History, language becomes a symbol of both beauty and deep historical pain. This poem asks us a question we rarely stop to consider. Is the language we use truly ours, or is it a memory of someone else's power? A Different History explores the connection between language, colonization, and cultural identity. Bhatt takes us on a journey from the peaceful world of Indian tradition to the painful legacy of British rule and shows us how even language carries the marks of history. Today, let's break this poem down stanza by stanza, slowly and thoughtfully, so we can feel every layer hidden inside the words. Stanza 1. The Sacredness of Culture. The poem begins with a beautiful and spiritual image. A world where the divine is everywhere, gods. The poet says, roam freely. They sneak in behind books and wander among everyday objects. This places us instantly in an Indian cultural universe, a world where even the simplest gestures hold meaning. In India, you don't touch a book with your foot. A book is not just paper and ink, it is sacred. It represents knowledge, wisdom, and learning. So when Bhatt says you must learn to turn the pages gently, she is not just talking about careful reading. She is reminding us that every act connected to knowledge is a holy act. This stanza celebrates Indians' timeless respect for learning. It paints a picture of a culture where spirituality lives in the smallest actions, where every book, every thought, every gesture carries a sense of reverence. But this piece is about to collide with history. Just when the reader is settled into this calm, respectful world, Bhatt changes the direction. The softness of tradition meets the violence of the past. Stanza 2. Stanza 2 talks about colonization and language conflict. The second stanza begins with a question that strikes the heart. Which language has not been the oppressor's tongue? This is the emotional center of the poem. It reminds us that English, a global language today, was once a tool of domination during British colonization. It arrived not through friendship but through force, power, and cultural erasure. But asks us to confront something uncomfortable. Even the words we speak can carry histories of suffering. Imagine losing your own language, your own stories, your own identity, and being forced to use the language of the people who ruled you. And yet, this is the irony. Bhatt herself writes in English. Millions today speak, write, dream, and create in English. So, the poem creates a powerful emotional conflict. Can a language that once caused pain become a home for new stories? Can something that was used to silence a culture later help that culture speak again? English traveled from being a colonizer's weapon to a writer's tool, to an everyday Indian language. This transformation is what gives the poem its depth. It shows how people reclaim what once harmed them and reshape it into something new. Now let's explore the themes of this poem. First, language as identity. Language shapes who we are, it holds memory, emotion, and heritage. So when a language is taken away, a part of identity is taken too. Second, cultural survival. Despite colonization, Indian culture did not break. It adapted, transformed, and survived. English became part of Indian identity not because of colonization alone, but because people chose to take and make it their own. Third, irony of post colonial writing. Many writers who suffered because of colonization now use English to criticize colonization itself. This irony is central to the poem. In the end, A Different History is a poem about transformation. It shows how history changes cultures, but also how cultures reclaim what was taken. English arrived in India through violence, but today Indian writers use it to express love, pain, power, resistance, and creativity. Bhatt reminds us history leaves marks, but humans have the power to reclaim, rewrite, and reimagine. If this deep explanation helped you understand the poem better, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me in the comments, what does your language mean to you? Is it a gift, a memory, or a struggle? See you in the next powerful poem breakdown. Thank you for watching, children.